Hello, and welcome to Dose of Inspirational Light. In this electrifying episode, get ready to be captivated by an extraordinary individual joining us all the way from United States of America. Sumati, a cherished friend of mine whom I met during her time in Geneva, in Switzerland. She's a beacon of unwavering calmness, resilience, and positivity. No matter the challenges that life throws her way, Sumati's tranquil demeanor shines through. Today, we embark on an exhilarating journey to unveil the secrets behind her remarkable composure. Wisdom we can all embrace and draw inspiration from. Born in the vibrant tapestry of India and holding a degree in commerce, Sumati's story takes intriguing twists and turns. Her life took a delightful turn when she tied the knot with Atul in 1992 and welcomed her son, Raghav. She made a profound choice to dedicate herself to nurturing her son, all the while being a steadfast support behind her husband's ascent to leadership positions. Sumati's life is a remarkable tale of wanderlust as she traversed through 9 cities across 3 continents. Tune in as she shares the humorous and heartwarming stories of cultural quirks and discoveries along her global journey. And what's more, her son Raghav is now pursuing his studies at university, while Sumati has herself found an unexpected source of joy, something that's a little bit unique, which is building Lego creations as an adult. Stay tuned to discover the delightful details about this unique passion. I, for one, am bubbling with excitement to engage in this conversation, and I hope you are too. So without further ado, let's welcome the incredible Sumati to Dose of Inspirational Light podcast. Sumati, it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Hi, Shikha.
Hi.
Thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm really delighted for having the conversation. As you know, I'm very shy in front of the camera, but I thought, why not?
Yes, we have to get out of our comfort zone. So I really, really appreciate that you're doing this. I know this is not something you do, and this is your very first recording.
Yes, it is.
But thank you. Very warm welcome. And I think we'll be great. We'll just have a casual conversation. Just imagine there's no cameras and it's just a chat.
Yeah.
So Sumati, which part of the United States are you living in right now?
Right now I am in Chicago. We moved there about 5 years back from Singapore. And Chicago is a beautiful city, as you know, with the river flowing. And that's what I love about that city.
So let's start with knowing who is Sumati truly for the audience that don't know you. Tell me a little bit about you.
So, as you know, I'm a very sensitive and a caring woman, and my focus is always my family. So I can say I'm imperfect and human. I was born in India and lived in Kashmir, as you know. And then we had to move after 20 years because there was a big problem in that part of the world. So then I came to Chandigarh, moved, got married, and then we have lived, as you already mentioned, in 3 continents and 9 cities.
So I described you as positive and calm. Is that a right description for you?
Yes, it is. I think so. I'm blessed in that way because I normally just don't get angry. I always try to see good in things. If any circumstance, I would always find that there's something good in it. Over the years, it has become second nature for me. Before I can say, I used to get, in the normal life, get angry on small things. And then I always used to introspect and see, why do I get angry? And then it was always on small things, and I thought it's just not worth it. And I think so if you start practicing a way of life, it just becomes second. You don't, next time you don't have to think about that. I've had challenges, as you know, got through them, and now I'm just a happy person, I can say.
Yes, ever since I've known you, you've always been a happy and a calm person. So
Yeah.
for those people listening, you know, where irritation, frustration, and you talked about anger, it's something that unfortunately has become a way of life for most of us. And I know you just mentioned that you introspected a while ago, very early on in your life. And from there, you made some choices in your head and said, you know, you're going to introspect. So what is it? What's that piece of advice that you will tell anybody who's listening, who's now frustrated by the smallest things?
I read Gita. So basically, when I started reading Gita, I used to read one chapter a day. And it just became, I kept reading it when I was around 17 or 18 years old. And always it said, just do your deed and never wait for the fruit. So it became like a mantra in my life. I kept doing my deeds and never thought what the result would be. And another thing is, I think so we get frustrated because we try to change things in people. Even in your relationship, you want your husband to act in some way or something like that, or your kid to behave in a certain way. But I feel we are not there to change people. We should accept a person as they are. And when you start accepting a person as they are, you would not get angry because you feel they are doing what they think it's fit for them. So I kept practicing. Every time you get angry, you think for 2 minutes, why did you get angry? And you will always find the reason behind it was so simple that somebody just put the glass where it shouldn't be. And you got angry. And even for the kids, you'll say, why don't you go and put the glass in the kitchen? Okay, sometimes you can pick up the glass and put it. You need to teach them good behavior, everything, but not every time. You shouldn't have that burden in your head always that we have to teach them, you have to enjoy life, I would say.
So
Small things, when these small things get out of the way, you start finding joy in what they are doing. We should also understand the perspective of a kid.
yes.
He is also going through a lot. At schools, he has to form friendships. He has so much burden of his studies. Home is somewhere they should be like a point of relief for them. And they are in a good frame of mind. And I think so. The kids imbibe what we are doing. So if we are doing the right thing, they will automatically. You don't need to, every single time we don't know. Maybe once in a week we can tell them. Like with Raghav, we always felt that he became a responsible boy without us teaching him things. He was just, seeing what we were doing. I didn't need to teach him.
That's interesting.
I call my parents every single day, twice a day.
That's sweet.
Morning and in the evening. So I think so for Raghav, it's like second nature. He doesn't find it, he's calling us that he's doing something unnatural. He
Yes.
feels that's a way of life. You have to call.
Next. Yeah.
So he is imbibing what he saw in us. Even as adults, we should learn from mistakes. And admit to our mistakes. I always admit if I don't. I say sorry to Raghav also. If I feel that I have done something, I don't mind saying sorry to anyone. I can pick up a phone if I feel I said something which might have hurt anybody. I never hesitate to pick up a phone and say I'm sorry.
Humility, it's very important, and just the word sorry, it has so much meaning, and it doesn't lessen you, doesn't deteriorate you, so no harm saying it. Can you share more about your early life in Srinagar? What was it like growing up there? You said you moved to Jammu when Kashmir Valley was hit with disturbances and the exodus happened. for those people that are listening today and that don't know, what exactly happened?
There was always an undercurrent in Kashmir. People were more, wanted a separate state from India. They wanted, so they thought that we want independence from Kashmir and we want to make Kashmir as an independent state. So we should be independent. And then in 90, they just started talking from the mosques and all that all the Hindus should leave the state of Srinagar. And we packed a few of our clothes and whatever we could put in Maruti 800, we had that. So me, my brother, my parents.
So just for people who don't know India's brands, Maruti is probably equivalent to a small Toyota, would you say? Yes.
Even smaller than that, I would say, like a small Volkswagen Polo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So smaller than that. So we had a carrier on top of it. So we put 2 or 3 suitcases there. And we left on 6th of January. And we were a lucky few who left before the big thing happened on 19th of January, where like hundreds and thousands of people came on the streets, and then they had to pack up in the truck. We had to basically leave everything and come back to Jammu. At that time, we couldn't stay in Jammu because we didn't have a house or anything. So my father's paternal home is in Chandigarh. So there was one room in that. So we just moved there. I was in my last year of graduation. So
year 12?
we just graduation from college.
Oh,
so
okay. So the last year of your Bachelor of Commerce. So you were around what, 16,
I was
17?
20.
20.
I was 20.
Yeah.
I would say 19.
Yeah.
So I was 19, and then we stayed in 4 months in just one room and in my paternal home. And then my dad thought we should, because he's a practicing chartered accountant, he didn't have any work or anything in Chandigarh. But he had a small office in Jammu. So we thought, let's move to Jammu. And we found a place to stay. And we were the lucky few who had something, but most of the people who moved from Kashmir had to live in tents in hot weather. They were not used to it, and there were like snakes and all in the tents. So people had to really face lots and lots of hardships. So my brother took admission in Jammu, and for me, because I was in the final year, no college was ready to take us. So they said that we can they said they will hold some exams, and then that happened about 8 to 9 months after that. So 8 to 9 months I was at home only, and I gave my exams and I got the graduation degree.
Okay, so you finished the degree. So you left about, from what I understand, 10 days before the big protest. So what happened for those people that had stayed and the big protest happened? What happened during the protest? Were the people killed or?
Also, no, people were killed also, and many bad things were happened there. And people had to just leave everything and go. They left in the trucks. And there's a movie on it, Kashmir Files, if anybody is interested to see that. It's a very, sad movie, because people, they didn't have anything, just the clothes, and they left. And you have to, refugees, these people had like big houses, and now you have to go and stay in the small tents, no water supply, nothing. Government was trying to give some ration to them, and then the kids couldn't get education. So 1 or 2 years, everybody was like in a bad shape, and slowly people started rebuilding their lives. But nobody has even been able to go back. Now the situation is improved, but for 20 years, nobody could go back. And just living your full-fledged life, your jobs, and have nothing, and staying in camps, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And luckily for my dad, he had very good, employees who kept his firm running in Kashmir.
Oh, okay.
And then my dad used to go, after about 7, 8 months, they went, and he used to go once in a while. But his people were really good.
What was your dad doing?
He's a chartered accountant.
Okay, right. But did you enjoy Srinagar when you were growing up?
I loved Srinagar. I'm a big, big nature person. So I think so because I grew up in the lap of nature.
Yes,
Kashmir, as everyone knows, is one of the most beautiful places with lakes and mountains.
yes, yes,
I, Switzerland again became like home for me because I felt at home in Switzerland.
yes, yes.
I can be in mountains my whole life. So for me, it's very important to be in nature. And Chicago again is, we live in a, yeah, community. So nature, the colors, and those are very important for me.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
I always wanted to be a homemaker.
Yeah.
I just love being at home. So I thought, why should I study so much? And then I would have that extra burden on my mind. Now I've studied so much, I should go and work. But that is not what I wanted. So I guess that I knew what I wanted.
Yes.
I always wanted to be at home. I think so. My mom was always there. So now she was a teacher before, my brother was born. She used to teach and she has got her bachelor's in education and she was a teacher teaching ninth grade. But then when I grew up, I was 3 when my brother was born. And after that, I've always, seen her at home.
Yes.
Even if she had gone out with friends, it was not even once I would have to open the door myself. My mom was always there with a smile. So I wanted the same.
Yeah.
And with Atul's job, even when we got married, Atul checked with me what was my
Yes.
aim. Before we got engaged, I said I want to be at home. And he also wanted because he knew with his job he would have to move.
Yes.
So it brings stability at home if one partner is not working. Otherwise, there's always a tussle who is going to, leave the job. And so it worked perfect.
But the fact that the way that you mentioned that your mom was sweetly waiting for you when you came home and that feeling of togetherness and that smile of what you grew up with, you wanted your son to have, or your family to have, which is beautiful.
I had my son after 12 years of my marriage.
Okay. Okay.
Got married. Yeah, so that was one of the challenges, but I never felt it.
Yeah.
Unless we got him, I never felt we were missing something.
Yeah.
But once we got him, then we knew what we were missing.
Oh, that's a blessing. Yeah. No,
And I
definitely.
had the challenge of my Atul's mom having paralysis, so I got busy in that. I could dedicate my time to her,
Yes.
and because it was a big challenge in her life, suddenly one day and we had gone for a kitty party, and he was playing tambola, and in a second her life changed, and she was paralyzed from the left side.
Oh, okay.
So for 8 years, she was paralyzed. But I tried to, I think so. And she used to say, even I am paralyzed, these are one of the best few years because we took her everywhere. She was with us in Switzerland, as you know. I never did that she's paralyzed, that she can't do things. So I would never let that happen. So we had, her wheelchair. It's not that if you're paralyzed, you can't do things. So
Yeah.
we took her. She said she has seen so many. Was in Singapore with us. She was in Switzerland, Chennai. I took her to the beaches, anywhere. I never thought that she couldn't walk, but she could see everything.
Yes.
And she was again a very positive person. So I think so. In my life I've been blessed with positive persons. So why my outlook is like that. It becomes
Do you know
very
what happened to her? Why suddenly there was this paralysis?
high blood pressure, so it was a clot which went into her brain, and left side was paralyzed. But I always feel caregiving is very difficult for people.
Yes.
I had to be on my toes all the time. I would take her to physiotherapy every single day, and that became sometimes a challenge because it's day in day out. Be- After 8 9 months, I think so, I had a bit of a breakdown because we couldn't leave mom even for a minute, only when some with the helper. So whenever Ratu's brother would come or Ratu's sister would come, we will go and see a movie. So for 8 9 months, I slept with her in her room to get her, because as a caregiver, but for the person who is facing it, it's much, much more difficult. Your
Of
life,
course.
you're dependent on somebody.
Yes.
I tried to make her life as normal as possible. So I
Yeah.
would try and make like a routine for her.
Yeah.
So in the evenings, like she would write letters to everyone in the family. So she
Oh.
would look for it and she would send reply. So now I have a big, I will send you the picture. I have framed all her letters in a book.
Oh. Yeah. Is
So
she still with us, Sumati?
no, we lost her about 17 years back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Sorry
Raghav
to
was
hear
too.
that.
But
When
you know what? At least she could see Raghav.
you were
Yeah.
living in Chandigarh when you married Atul?
I was living in Chandigarh.
Yeah.
Uh, that was the basically hometown, but Atul was posted in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
So we lived in Gurgaon 2 years, moved to Patiala, then moved to Lucknow, then came again to Gurgaon, moved to Chennai, came to Gurgaon, moved to Singapore. From Singapore, moved to Atlanta, Atlanta to Fort Worth, back to Singapore, then to Chicago.
Wow. What a
The
journey.
first 11 years, it has been still stable. I would say 6 years and 5 years, 11.
Yes. Okay.
But before that, it was 20 years and 20 houses because sometimes you had to change the house in the same place because the landlords wanted it back.
So your marriage to Atul was an arranged marriage?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Mhm.
And did you see him before you before you married him? Or?
Yes, so I had seen him before because Atul is in my extended family. So I had seen him, but we had never, talked about anything like this. Then one day our parents decided, and the next day, so Atul and me, I think so, talked for a minute or so. And after 2 days was our engagement, and after
Mhm.
2 months was our marriage.
Wow,
And
that is pretty
it
fast.
for yes, now I'm married, going to complete 32 years in April.
Wow. Happily married, 32 years. And for those that don't know, Sumati and Atul, I mean, have this most amazing relationship. They're always combined, if I could say, like a beautiful, consulting each other, talking to each other. They're just like one, they're a couple, but they're just one combined form, if I could say it that way. This is my observation, but Sumati will, of course, reveal more secrets.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah. No, that's a big blessing. So,
It's a big blessing.
yeah,
For us, it has been like since we got married, Atul takes care of the outside, and home everything I do.
yes.
So I think I do my job pretty well. We had never discussed it, but it just became like that. That it's divided. He can concentrate on his career, and it's not because I enjoy it so much. I never feel it as a work. So
Mm.
even just hanging these clothes, I find joy in that. I don't know how, but I can enjoy that also. I'll go out and then I'll see, and if I wash clothes with hands, I will go and then I look at the flowers. I can. in my backyard. I can go and plant vegetables.
So
And
you're saying that you enjoy doing laundry. That's what I heard. You enjoy doing laundry by hand and you enjoy hanging it. Is that what you just said? That's amazing.
I said that.
Why would you
But
wash clothes by hand?
even sometimes I feel some clothes, if you put them in the washing machine, they get shrink. Then so I take care of my clothes.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
And once you start enjoying those things, you once in a while I do get to putting the dishwasher. But for me, I have no rules in my head. I take life very simply. In the evening, if I feel like I'm too tired to put the dishwash, I'll just rinse it and keep the dishes.
Mm.
But I prefer that time to go and sit with Atul and watch TV. So I never let the household things take over my time with him. So I think so that over the years has helped.
Your relationship with Atul, we've mentioned this at the start, is you two are a combined form. What is it that makes you so connected? And I think one of the answers that you've just given me is that you've prioritized him over any other tasks, even if it is just simply the art of watching TV with him.
Yes. And I always feel that he and Raghav and my extended family are the most important things in my life. Important. And so even if I'm on a call with you or anybody else and I hear the bell and it's Atul coming, immediately I would say bye. I wouldn't keep talking. I would just go and open the door. And when he's leaving for his office or anything, I'll stand. Even if he's going for tennis or anything, I'll stand and say bye and wave it to him. And whenever, it's not like, okay, I'm doing my work and okay, he's leaving. I will leave it, whatever I'm doing, and I'll go to the door and say bye to him.
Yes.
Right, I just feel like doing it. I don't do it just for, it comes natural to me.
Yes.
That of course and that's also I feel with my parents. I call them because they are alone, and of course my brother is there. But in the morning, it has just become a routine. So after breakfast or with breakfast, I call them and I'll FaceTime and put it so that they can see and I can talk to them. And in the night, I just say good night. It's not a long talk. It's the same, maybe not less than a minute, 30-second call. I say good night, and that's it. It's I would again say communication is very important.
Yeah. I think the strongest reason for that relationship connection is the fact that you are friends first and foremost. And because of that friendship, that sharing and prioritizing each other, that friendship has what sustained, because the rest of them, the problems, the issues, etc. That's a separate thing. But first thing is friendship, the care that you have for each other.
And the problems will be there. We are two different people. We both can't think alike.
Yes.
Never. So I think differently. He thinks differently. But then sometimes you need to tell somebody. For me, I always kept in my mind. I always felt that he should, he should see my face and see that I'm tired and help me. And I wouldn't ask for help. I always felt, why can't he see?
Yeah.
But then he told me that he has so many other different things going in his mind that sometimes he doesn't. So if I need help, I should just say that, can you help me in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And with us, we thought, why should we say it? Somebody else should just understand.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
that doesn't happen. So if you say, so whenever I'm feeling tired now, I'll go and ask. But sometimes it happens, I feel that he should help more. But I know that with his work, he has to, because especially now in US where you don't have help, you have to do everything yourself. Sometimes you do get tired. Though I leave things, it's not, but there's no pressure on me. We feel that, spending time with each other That is much more important. Enjoying a song or going for a walk is much more important than doing the housework.
Yes, of
Housework is
course.
never ending. Is never ending.
I think the most important thing is to find the joy in the simplest of things. And I think that's what you have. That secret
Yes, we have.
formula. That's the secret formula that you've got for your calmness and positivity. Because, even hanging, washing, and doing laundry by hand gives you joy because you can then focus on whatever, whether it's a flower on the side
Yes.
or something in the sky or whatever it is.
Every time I see the moon, every year Raghav says, Mom, how can you be happy? Every time you see, I can, while watching from my room, sometimes I can see the moon. And
Yes.
then TV, my husband, I can admire that moon. And then like, okay, now I can go back to what. So, okay, I can do whatever I feel like. I can read books. I do gardening also.
Yes.
I plant my vegetables in the summer. It's a very short period in Chicago because of the cold,
Yes.
but
So
of
on
course,
that note, what is it that you are growing in the background? In the back.
for that I grow tomatoes and green beans. And green beans last, my stock lasts for a year. I clean them, cut it, and just freeze them.
Green peas.
Tomato and green beans.
Wow. That
And
much? Wow.
so I get a
Fair supply.
bumper. Yes.
Is there a
So,
trick to this green thumb or is it like a good soil? What's the trick here? Because I can't grow anything at this moment,
I
even though
think
the
so.
weather is much better.
I think the position of our backyard is like that. You get a lot of sun, and I luckily have a great thumb. So
Mm,
tomatoes I puree and just freeze them. I can use it later.
mm,
So,
mm.
and flowers, of course, is just for your own.
Yeah. Maintaining relationships, Sumati, appears to be a significant part of your life. How do you make friends so quickly and how do you stay connected with them across all these different cities that you've lived in?
So I can say, Shikha, once somebody is in my life, will remain there till my I go away from this earth. So for that, I think so. I make an effort also. So for me, I have decided because we have lived in so many cities, so I made a lot of friends. So
Mm,
it's difficult to maintain,
mhm,
these connections. So I found a way that I make it a point to wish everyone on their birthdays.
mm,
So every time I leave, I take their birthdays, I take their kids' birthdays,
mhm,
their anniversaries. So that way I am connected to every friend at least 4 times a year.
mhm.
Even
That's
if it's a small message only, even if I don't pick up a phone. And if I haven't heard from people for a long time, I would always send a message. Hope
yes.
everything is okay. Hope you're doing okay. And
That's it.
I think so that has helped. And now I'm getting older. I'm forgetting names and all.
Older, come on, there's perspective in older. There's no older here. We're still young spring
So,
chickens, Sumati.
now as I forget names, so I make an effort that I have in my notes on my phone. I have the kids' names,
Yes.
and like Shikha and Ajay, and then I like Satvik and Advait. And I make it a point before, if I'm going to write to you a message, I go back to notes. Some 99% of the time with people you are very close, you'll remember the names. But
Mm-hmm.
it just slips out of your mind at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you're writing a message, if you write somebody's, if you ask a name and write a name, it feels good, special
Mm-hmm.
to the other person that, somebody is caring enough to remember the kids' names.
Yes, yes, it's sweet. Yeah.
It's a small thing which I think so it doesn't take much time if you do it regularly.
Mm.
It just takes me a second at that time when I meet someone, I just write the names.
Yes,
To
yes.
the other person, I think so it makes a difference.
Yeah. Sweet. And I think it's a good tip for those, for me also, to
But you've
to
been very good, Shikha. You have always wished me on my birthday.
Mm.
You have always done that. I have lots of friends. I'm blessed in that. I have lots and lots of, and I think so. I'm very easy to make conversation with.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
Yes. For Raghav, I know that he's moved out and he's gone now to college. Is your only child. So for, and I think the terminology is empty nest syndrome. What advice would you give to parents whose children, for example, right now are transitioning into university life and this empty nest syndrome is kicking in?
I think for emptiness, I would say that we get too invested in looking after our kids. That is important. Of course, as I told you, it's a big priority for me too. But I always have time for yourself, develop your interest. So suddenly you don't feel that you have nothing to do.
Yes.
Always over the years, always never lose your individuality, I would say. Always have, I always have my hobbies. I would read a book, I would watch TV or do something. So suddenly that there's no vacuum in your life.
Yes. Yeah.
And you need to have a very good relationship with your husband. That makes it a little bit easier when your kid goes. Because when you are busy with your kids, you never invest that time with your husband. So you have, in a way drifted apart somehow, as you never invested in that. And then it becomes a big challenge. Because after like 15, 17 years, you were just looking after your kids. You never, went out yourself with your husband. You were always, so that is very important. Even when Raghav was small, we would never go out. I've never left Raghav with, somebody at home alone, or we both have gone for a party. But we would always find that time to watch TV because that's what we both enjoy. Watch
Yes.
Indian Idol or anything, But
Yeah.
after I put him to bed, then I would watch at least an hour where we will catch up or something. And even when Raghav was around at dining table, even Raghav would know what's happening at Atul's office because we never felt that he's too young to understand.
To be
So
involved.
as a family, we have always, if we were to get transferred, I think we would always talk to Raghav. Okay,
Yeah.
this is happening. So he always felt part of every decision. So as a family, we would always talk. And I always invested time with Atul. I, would watch TV. And so then when Raghav left, of course, it's a big change. But we were
Was it
lucky that.
emotional, Sumati? Was it emotional when he left, or were you composed?
No, I think I was prepared. I think so. It became easier, Shikha, because he's just 45 minutes away.
Oh, okay. So
In
not too
my
bad.
mind, I know that if I feel like I can just drive down and see him.
Yes.
But so I think so that helped a lot. That
Yeah.
helped because it was so close by. But if they are far away, then I think so the phone calls help.
Yes.
Like now
But
I've left him.
was there a point where there was a decision that he could still live at home, given that it's only 45 minutes away?
No, because the university has a policy that they need to stay in dorm for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. Which
Yeah, so
university is this? Where is he studying? Or what is he
uh,
studying?
he's studying journalism in Northwestern University and he wants to go into sports journalism. He's already covering games for his college, going to travel to
Lovely.
Philadelphia for him. So he's very happy about that. But he does camera, everything related to,
Would he
sports.
interview the players as well? And
Yes, he has started doing that for his college.
yes.
It's say he's just in second year, but
Yeah.
so that's what he wants to do.
That's beautiful.
So the kids should always know that we are there for them.
Yes. That's the
Once that becomes it easier for them too,
yes.
because I feel for us we are just thinking of us as empty nesters, but the things they are facing at college, it's very hard to make friends. The college courses and also we shouldn't give them that extra pressure of, things, I feel. It should be a natural transition for them. Yes.
So that's good. And now let's talk about the hobbies that you've sustained while he's gone to uni. Now I mentioned very briefly at the start that there's a unique hobby that you've got, which is Legos, which, I would never think of Lego in an adult, but let's talk about that. What is your passion for Lego architecture and puzzles? How did you get into this hobby, and what did you find most enjoyable?
I started Lego with Raghav only when he was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Before that, as a kid, I had never played blocks or anything.
Mhm.
So I used to sit with him and make Legos
Okay.
because he would just want to play with them and not make them. And I really enjoyed putting them together. And then whenever one piece was missing, I was always looking for that single piece where it is under the sofas or anything. And and then when we moved, so whenever we moved, you had to dismantle all the
Yes.
Legos. And then when we went to a new place, I would again make them and keep.
Mm.
And I really, I felt very relaxed while making Legos, and and puzzles also same. I used to make with Raghav. We would put music, and we would make puzzles, and he would also say, now he doesn't even put a single piece, but before he used to.
Yes.
And I stumbled upon this Lego architecture.
Yeah.
Every birthday, I get one Lego architecture from Raghav. Then
Okay.
when he earned his first, working as a tour guide and all his first money, he bought one botanical series Lego for me.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It's good that, he also knows what to buy you, which is sweet.
So architecture, so I thought we have lived in different countries. So I started making, London, then they had a Singapore one, New York, Chicago. So I made all those. And then we saw this, they came up with this orchid, the botanical series. And I love flowers, as you know. So I got into that. And because I always felt whenever I was feeling a bit low or sad, anytime if I pick up Lego and start making it, I forget what time is, or I just put on music and hours will go.
It's
And
amazing, things that irritate me or would frustrate me, looking for the tiniest things give you so much enjoyment. Such a unique thing.
it's a brain exercise. Then I, of course, do every single day. I do the mini puzzle, I do the wordle, I do the New York Times wordle, connections, spelling bee.
Wow.
Of course, I do my yoga every morning. So I have that routine that I think so. Yoga has also helped me in a way, Shikha, to become that relaxed, you say, calm and composed and discipline.
Yes.
Another tip I should give to everyone is have discipline in your life. Discipline helps you to keep very calm and composed.
Yeah, for sure. So with these Legos, coming back to it, obviously it gives you creativity, gives you relaxation somehow, somewhere. How long has been, so for example, the most complex project, how long has it taken you?
I really want to make Titanic, which is 7,000 pieces, and it's 5.
Wow.
I think so. That's going to be a challenge
Okay.
because Lego architecture takes, if you sit in one sitting, it takes you around 2 to 3 hours. Or
For a
if you are just,
professional like you. So for somebody who's like me, it probably take me 5 hours, but
I think so. You have to just follow the directions. I'm not very creative that way. Some people can mix anything from the blocks.
yeah.
I'm good at
Oh,
following the directions. So I
okay.
just see the directions and put it.
Mention your belief in positivity. We've spoken about that. So let's talk about this Gita. You've said that you've read Gita innumerable times. Firstly, did you grow up with this in your household? At the age of 17, 18, you said you started reading, right? That's a very young age to start reading a scripture and going into spirituality, very young age.
I think so. Growing up, my mom would read
Okay, so your parents.
the Ramayana and all. like a story, but at the age when I was 16 or 17, my mom's brother took sannyas and joined ISKCON.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so
This is
he
your
just left
uncle, maternal
my
uncle.
uncle,
Okay.
maternal uncle. And he gifted me that Gita, and he would always tell, because he had gone into ISKCON, that you should read.
Mm.
And
And
so I
for
just
those that
started.
don't know what ISKCON is, because obviously not a lot of people are Indians in this group, what's ISKCON?
Don't know that it's Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
ISKCON has, I think so, temples all over the world. If
Okay.
you Google it, it is ISCKON. I think so,
Okay.
International Society of Krishna Consciousness, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
He joined that, and then he gifted me his Gita, which he used to read.
And
So
now
I
he's fully dedicated to God. Well,
He
in
was
his,
dedicated, but we lost him about 4 years back.
oh, sorry
Uh,
to hear that. Yeah.
at a young
Okay.
age, he had cancer and we lost him.
So, Sumati, could you tell the audience more about teachings of the Gita that has influenced you and how you apply them in your life?
Yeah, so teachings of the Gita is one of them is you have to do your deeds and never wish for the fruit. So whatever I do, I never think I need something in return.
Okay.
Even you don't do everything that you want something in return. Some things you
Mhm.
do for your own happiness. But I never judge people.
Okay.
It's a normal human tendency. Somebody, if you see, if a judgment does cross your mind, it's not like
Yes.
it doesn't. If somebody is behaving in a certain way, you judge them.
Yes.
But then with practice, I've started no. There's always a reason. If somebody is not well or somebody is doing it in a certain way, maybe if somebody wasn't at that time in the right frame of mind to talk to you,
Right.
I never give up. So it has got 18 chapters. When you
Mhm.
leave everything to God, it helps.
Any other positive outlooks which, that you have?
When I was almost married for 7 years, I lost my hearing, and I never knew that I lost my hearing. But Atul would feel also that if he told me anything and that I wouldn't respond, he was thinking that I was ignoring it.
Wow.
So we just went to for a hearing test,
Mhm.
and he said, you can't hear, so he said you need to put a hearing aid.
Oh, wow.
It was like, and then he gave me that big hearing aid in my ear, and it felt, it didn't feel good.
No,
But
because you were in your 20s, right? Early 20, mid 20s, or
mid
yeah.
20s, and I was like, I now have to wear a hearing aid like old people. That's what comes to your mind, the
Yeah, of
first thing.
course. Yeah.
And I put the hearing aid in 1 year, I could listen to things. So again, it became a positive experience. I said, okay. And then when I moved to Singapore, we went for the hearing test, and he said, why are you wearing just the hearing aid in 1 year? You have lost hearing in both the ears.
Oh,
And in India, nobody thinks about that. He said, okay, the main thing is you can't have put a hearing aid.
yes.
So he said, no, you need to put hearing aid in both the ears, because otherwise all the cells in the other ear will die off, and then you won't get your hearing back. So for 2 years, I just kept the hearing aid. I got used to it. Now, I'll cover it with my hair or something big. And then Raghav was born. And when he was a baby, he would, bang his head. And
Oh,
whenever he would bang his head on my ear, it used to pain so much. And, I never bothered about that too much because I was so happy with him that playing, but it used to hurt so much. And then one day I went to a doctor in Switzerland. He said, why don't you get your hair operated,
mhm.
for the hearing? He said, but I can lose completely. He said always,
That was the risk. That was the risk
uh,
that you could lose it.
that
Okay.
I could lose it. I said, no, I can't. So I was not prepared. He said that in your life you need to take risks,
What
lot
was the
of risks.
percentage of success of this operation that
But
study?
in Switzerland, they said it's a 95% success. So
Oh,
they will
okay.
basically cut the bone and they put a prosthesis in there so that the sound can pass.
Right.
So that way I got it operated. I kept a positive outlook at that time, of course. Even if I lose it in one, I would have at least 1 year to listen to.
Mm.
And then US, I got both ears operated and I could hear. And I remember going to the second time when I got the second ear operated, and then I could hear from both sides. It
Mm.
was a real difference. When I said, oh my God, the world is so noisy because I was so, there's too much noise in the world.
Yeah.
I kept that positivity, of course, of it will happen good and everything would be good. Then I had challenges because of the operation. I got into an accident at home when Raga was 4. I drove into when I was parking my car, I broke the drawing room walls and the car went there.
What? Sorry.
So
So you drove your car into
I
your
was
driving area?
Atul was not there. Atul was traveling, and
Yes.
I had just dragged her back from school.
Okay.
And I think so because I had just got operated. For a second, I lost, I couldn't think clearly because of my
Okay.
operation. So I might have pressed the
Accelerator.
accelerator instead of the brake. And Raghav was behind, and I was parking my garage, and it broke the living room wall, and the car went in. So that was again a big challenge.
Wow. Yeah.
But things, but always said, okay,
And you
drove up.
broke the wall, or was the wall thick enough, or you just broke the car? No, you broke the wall.
The car was total, that I
Yeah, of
broke the
course.
car.
But you were
And
safe and
Raghav,
Raghav was safe.
we were safe, but I had to go, of course, concussion and all those things. And Atul was just taking off,
Oh, he was taking
traveling. And he was just taking off from another Venice to someplace. And Raghav calls him and tells, Mom, I got into an accident. He was 4 years, Mama ka accident. And
Oh,
Atul had to shut off the phone because they were taking off and they couldn't. For 1 hour, he didn't know what had happened. So then
oh,
other place, then he called and all. So there's a lot of these small things which kept happening, but I always, okay, it's a way of life. Things come and I will just deal with it.
yes. I think one of the things I've learned since coming into spirituality is the drama is predestined. Everything that is happening is for your growth. Everything that is meant to happen is going to happen. Have no attachments in life. So these are the few things that I've picked up on recently, and it's only been the last 8 months or 9 months or so since I've started learning a few things. But yeah, I mean, it's great that you followed those principles from a very young age, and what you're saying, it's making sense.
You must be feeling the change, Shikha, yourself. Once you leave everything on God, life becomes much easier.
Definitely.
I think
Definitely,
so.
it is much easier.
Challenges are
But amazing story, Sumati, like, losing hearing in both ears at such a young age. That must have been very, very hard. But the fact that you kept an outlook of positivity, especially with your mother-in-law and all the other challenges that you had at the same time, kudos to you. Kept
yes,
smiling. In terms of our conclusion, we'll do a quick rapid fire round. Tea or coffee person?
coffee,
Yeah. So cappuccino or no?
cappuccino,
Cappuccino.
cappuccino.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Or macchiato.
I think I know the answer to the next one. Beach or mountains? Mountains
I need
anytime. She was born in Srinagar. She loves Switzerland. Now, this is a hard one for you because you are balancing both, books or movies?
I think so. Right now it's movies, but I love books, so I have to go back to them.
Yes. By the way, any favorite movie?
So the one that comes in mind is Life is Beautiful.
Movie, okay. Do you have a favorite quote to leave the audience with?
Yes, I have one. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile by Albert Einstein.
Nice, very nice. Favorite season?
It's autumn.
Autumn. Any particular reason why not spring or?
Color, because of the colors. You see such beautiful colors. Orange, red, maroon. It's just simply beautiful.
And your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. And you're wearing pink today? And I'm wearing pink today. And do you play sport, or would you like to tell us sport that you watch?
So my family is a big basketball. Raghav is going into sports, so there's always sports in the evening.
Okay, so on that note, thank you so much, Sumati, for being here today, for talking to us at Dose of Inspirational Light.
Thanks, Shikha. You got me talking. I always thought I wouldn't be able, but it's because it was a conversation became easy. I never felt that I was talking to the camera because you were right there. So then I can talk a lot.
Thank you, Sumati. Bye.